I'm back again. Hi, everybody. My name is Roger Heitzig. I'm the immediate past president of this club. Christine is running late today, so she asked me to get started since I'm first on the agenda anyway. But before we go, I want to give us a chance to introduce our guests. So if you are a guest or you have a guest, please hold up your hand. I know of one because he's sitting right next to me here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rich Cyrek. I'm a longtime member of the Suffern, New York Rotary Club. I just moved down here about a year ago, and I thought I'd love to see my fellow Rotarians in another venue. So I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you. Sneak over to Laura here. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
I'm Kelly Willenberg, and I'm a guest of Amy.
Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Colby Williams. I am a native of South Carolina. Just moved up to Clemson a couple months ago, and just want to meet people. I was a member of the Carolina Forest Rotary for a little bit there, and so I know about Rotary life, and it's good people. So thank you for y'all for inviting me or having me. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jude Johnson. I'm from Nassau, Bahamas. I'm a past Rotaractor of the Rotaract Club of East Nassau, which is sponsored by the Rotary Club of East Nassau, home club of past Rotary International President Barry Rassin.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matthew Hammett, and I'm a guest today of Steve Argo. I serve as the executive director for the South Carolina Institute on the Prevention of Sexual Violence on College Campuses, which is chartered. It's a very long title, and it's time to go now. No, yes, Cat Moss is a great group too, but it's chartered through Lander University, and I'm going to turn it over to Anna, who's also a guest today.
Hi, I'm Anna Catherine English. I am a Greenville native. I also work with Matt. I'm not going to say the whole title because we like to call it Skip for short, and it's a whole lot easier to say, and it takes up less of your time. And we are both guests here of Steve.
Good. My guest should be sitting right there next to Lisa. He's not arrived yet, so I'll just tell you his name is Wilfredo Leon, and he's the current president of the Rotary Club of Malden. And then in the back corner there, see our district membership chair has showed up to check on us. Jameson, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Thank you, Roger. My name is Jameson Tinsley, and I am the district membership chair for our Rotary District 7750. And I know all the great work you guys do, so I wanted to come to a meeting, and it's good to be with you guys, and love seeing the energy and all these guests in here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jameson. Let's give them all a big round and a welcome. All right. Christine left me her inspirational thought of the day. Happiness is a choice, but it's easy to forget that when life gets in the way. Repeat these simple words to yourself as often as you need to. Even among the craziness of my life is pretty darn sweet. I choose to be happy. Will you stand and join me for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good. So every year we talk about our board of directors nominations. And this year it's my job. It's literally the last thing that I have to do as having been club president last year. So just some reminders or Rotary Board 101. According to our bylaws, we have a 15-member board. There are 5 officers and 10 members. The officers all serve 1-year terms, and the members serve alternating 2-year terms. They're staggered. You'll see that in a second. Also, the president is allowed to appoint up to 2 additional board members to stack the board in their favor during their presidential year. The nominating committee consists of the 5 most recent past presidents, I should say available past presidents. Like in our case, Ramona is no longer with us, so we went back another year to bring Scott into it. And also includes the president and the president-elect, and is chaired by the immediate past president. The committee calls on the club, and you all got an email about 8 weeks ago. The committee calls on the club to nominate either themselves or others. And I'll say that's a great step because 3 out of our 5 new board members that we're going to show you in a minute here came from that process. And when I'm done showing you these names, I'm going to need somebody to please make a motion, somebody to second it, then we'll take a vote and hopefully pass. If it doesn't pass, I have no idea what we do, but we'll figure it out, or hopefully don't have to figure it out. All right, if you go to my next slide, please. So this shows this year's board. If you're a member of this year's board, would you stand and be recognized, please? Lisa, there we go. They're not in attendance today. Yay, thank you very much for your service. So as you see, the 5 officers at the top, then there's 2 groups that serve the 2-year terms and they're staggered. So what I'd like to do is get to the next slide, which shows the nominations for next year. So are we there? You can see the important thing is our secretary president nominee is Andrea Kafis, who, as you know, the progression, she'll become vice president and eventually president in the 28-29 Rotary year. So our new board members that will serve starting next year are Jeremy Ackles. I saw you there over there. Heather, I saw you sitting at the same table. Surendra, I know, is here up front. Tom Murphy and Laura Nicholas. I didn't see her. Anyhow, thank you for that motion. Thank you for the second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Let's give a big hand for our new board members.
Good afternoon. Now, usually I come up here and I talk about our members who are supporting Coins for Alzheimer's Research Trust, or CART, but I don't have a match sponsor for this month, so thought I'd do something a little different. And some of you know that in another life, I worked in Indianapolis on Indy 500 programming, and in the early 1980s, we hired an up-and-coming comedian who was a newlywed named Jay Leno. Jay could ad-lib, he knew cars, he was funny, and he and I got caught in a 2-hour downpour stuck in a Winnebago for next to the garage one carburation day. And I learned that Jay, unlike a lot of comedians, truly was a what you see is what you get kind of guy. So last month, I noticed the Today Show shared some of Jay's current story about his wife Mavis, who's going through Alzheimer's. The package ran around 8 minutes when it ran on the Today Show, but Entertainment Tonight edited it down to 2. And Jay tells us what it's like to care for Mavis.
Probably the toughest part was every day she'd wake up and realize someone had called today to tell her mother had passed away. And her mother died every day for like 3 years. And it was just, not just crying. I mean, you're learning for the first time. Each time was, and that was really tricky. Yeah, that makes it hard.
Jay told today's Hoda Kotb he tries to maintain a sense of normalcy for Mavis. Last year, a judge granted the 75-year-old a conservatorship over his wife of 45 years.
You know, her appetite's really come back. I wish I could take her out and go out to eat and do things like that. But you can't really. We'll get some help, we'll take her out the car and we'll drive around and look at stuff, and she likes that.
You've really been there for Mavis, and fans have loved that.
We have a great time.
For more than 4 decades, Jay and Mavis have been one of Hollywood's great love stories, and ET's had a front row seat from Oscar nights to red carpet premieres.
I would do exactly the same thing. I would marry the same person. I'd do everything the same exact way.
The idea that you get married and you take these vows, nobody ever thinks they'll be called upon to act on them. You know, you're not applied through better or worse, but even the worst is not that bad.
Does she bring up stuff from like when you guys were younger, when you were dating?
Oh yeah, we always do that, you know. When I'm carrying her, and carry like in the bathroom, we do this, and I call it Jay and Mavis to prom, you know, high school. You know, so it's just like, you know, back and forth. And she, you know, she thinks that's funny.
How does Mavis show you that she loves you?
I can tell when she's happy. And as someone who's in show business, I go home and I get an audience reaction every night. I please the person I'm entertaining. And when she looks at me and smiles and says she loves me, I melt.
You know, most of us probably remember what it was like to lose a parent. Now, here's Mavis learning every day for 1,000 days that her mother just died, while Jay prepares every morning to support her. Think of what that's like, or what it would be like for your kids, or your grandkids, or your great-grandkids, if we don't beat Alzheimer's. You've heard me say that CART's goal is to make sure you die of a heart attack when you're 125, because they know they can't cure Alzheimer's, but we can slow it down. I'm asking you to remember the Blue Bucket today, and if you want to play a more active role, be an Alzheimer's Match member in 2026. You know where I am. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Hey, I'm Rusty Enfinger. I'm one of the co-chairs of the membership committee. Really quickly, I wanted to remind all of y'all, we have the most incredible members of any Rotary Club in all of Greenville. But what we want to do is grow this membership. I know all of y'all have friends, relatives, colleagues, business associates, and you want them to be here to experience the joy of this club. How do you do that? Invite them to Discover Rotary. It's a real easy process. You just walk up to those folks and say, hey, I'm part of this incredible organization. I want you to be a part of it too. And they say, well, how do I do that? Join me at Discovery Rotary. Go to Discovery Rotary. As y'all know, it's the 4th Tuesday at 11, right before this meeting. And it's also the 3rd Tuesday at 5:30 at Craig Golden. So invite them here, get them to come to Discover Rotary, bring them to this delicious lunch that Fabian works so hard on every other Tuesday, and let them have this experience that we have. It's easy, it's no pressure, but the only way they get there is for y'all to invite them. So do that for us, do that for y'all, and we'll see everybody at Discovery Rotary. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pure joy for me to be up here today. I think I have the best job because I am very fortunate to being able to hand out all the blue badges to the members who achieve to complete their checklist. Receiving a blue badge doesn't only mean that you get a badge in different color. It shows everybody that you reached a milestone in your, most of the times, very fresh Rotary journey. And I had the pleasure during the past month to guide the new members to receive their blue badges. And there's something you can do to members who still are wearing a red badge. Look around your table. Maybe there's somebody sitting with a red badge, because there is one point on the checklist that says, meet with a Rotarian who is not your sponsor for coffee, lunch, or quick conversation to just get to learn more about the club. So if there is a member with a red badge on your at your table, just check out if you have time on your schedules and meet with them and help them being part of the next blue badge graduation. So after having said all this, I would like to jump in and start recognizing our wonderful blue badge members. Let me quickly do some logistics at the podium and I'll be right back. I want to make sure. All right. So not all members were able to make it today. So everybody who is here, please come up here and we will exchange your red badge with a blue badge. So let's start with Jeremy Eccles, sponsored by Amy Randall. Next member is Tim Arthur, sponsored by Terry Weaver. We will make sure that he receives his badge. Next member is Jason Buffet, sponsored by Rusty Infinger. Brian Bure, sponsored by Luke Rhodes. Kelly Byers, sponsored by Ryan Thackeray. Ken George, sponsored by Scott Powell. Grayson Fuller, sponsored by Mark Leonard. Heather Hayes returned in May 2025 and went through the checklist again, sponsored by Jane Dyer. Lucas Mattingly, sponsored by Jay Handler. Michelle McCallum, sponsored by Amy Randall. Tom Murphy, sponsored by Jeff Petit. Jeff Petit, I'm sorry. Holly Pritchard, sponsored by me. Nick Ski, sponsored by Pam Weaver. Shannon Sports, sponsored by Catherine Pellicano. Brett Stabini, sponsored by Brett Caldwell. And last but not least, Christine Thompson, sponsored by Pam Weaver. So would all the graduates maybe come a little bit together? We can take a group picture.
Well, congratulations to all our new Blue Badge members. It's great to see the club growing so well. If we haven't met, my name is Matt Edwards. Been a member of the club for a while. I'm also have the privilege of serving on the board of the Neighborhood Cancer Connection. And I'm here to introduce our speaker this afternoon, Lisa Colby. Lisa has served as the executive director of Neighborhood Cancer Connection since 2022. In this role, she's led the organization's first capital campaign for a new cancer support facility, as well as projects like rebranding, developing a strategic philanthropy program, and expanding NCC's mental health program. Lisa's nonprofit career, which began as a grant writer, spanned 22 years and includes leadership roles at the United Way of Greenville County and Prism Health System. Prior to joining NCC, she led the 10-county chapter of the American Red Cross. While there, she served as a media spokesperson, raised $3 million a year for disaster relief efforts, and increased volunteerism and foster relationships. Lisa is a native of Seattle, Washington, and has a BA from the University of Puget Sound and an MA from the University of Maryland. I count Lisa as a friend, and she's a wonderful part of our community. Let's give Lisa a warm welcome today.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here. I think I was here about 5 years ago in my role as the executive director of the American Red Cross. So it's great to be back. I was talking to your treasurer, Lisa, and her response to the name of the organization was not uncommon. Cancer doesn't have the best reaction sometimes. It's not something people normally want to talk about, but I'm sure if I asked for a show of hands here was a cancer survivor or knows somebody in their lives with cancer, almost every hand in the room would go up. So I promise this will not be painful or a downer or depressing. It's actually really exciting. Like you all as Rotarians, we do a lot of good things in the community. Congratulations on your holiday craft fair that you held recently. That's a big thing in our office. A couple people went to that. But I think that you will hopefully learn some things. And if I have one ask of you, it's leave this room and consider yourselves an ambassador of the Neighborhood Cancer Connection. You can say NCC if you want to remember it easier. But people don't know about us. We'd love to get the word out. We have something that can help everyone go through their cancer journey. So this is the team that you're seeing up there. We hire for kindness and for compassion. So that's what this team, it's not forwarding. So we are on Mills Avenue, just really about a mile down the road from Prisma. So in good proximity to a lot of the cancer treatment infusion centers and to the major hospitals. We were, as Matt alluded to, we rebranded about 2 years ago. You might know us as the Cancer Society of Greenville County. Basically the same mission, but felt like we needed to clarify our role in the community to differentiate us from the large national organization of the American Cancer Society. So we feel like we landed on the Neighborhood Cancer Connection because that really is a great way to kind of explain our mission to the community. So I'm going to show you a short 3-minute video that I feel like does a better job than I can explaining who we are and what we do. Welcome to the Neighborhood Cancer Connection.
Hola, bienvenidos. Hello. Hi. I felt comfort when I walked into it. I felt like I could ask for anything that I needed.
I wish more people knew about it.
I feel like they go way above, they really know what they're doing.
There's some research that says that only 10% of your health outcomes are determined in a clinical setting, and the other factors are all of the social and emotional factors that happen outside of your medical home. The Neighborhood Cancer Connection's role in the community is to provide free integrative services that can support people on their cancer journey, whether that be emotional support, financial support, physical support.
Cancer doesn't discriminate. We give you the hope that you can walk through our doors and get the support that you need.
The NCC is a piece that fits in between your diagnosis and your treatments and hopefully your cure.
The counselors that help facilitate the group are great. Many of them have experienced cancer themselves, so they can relate.
I knew that they knew what I was going through. I felt that.
NCC has been here for me from the very beginning.
If I need something, I call, and it's always here for me. It's just like being at home, really.
What is going on here allows us to see people at their most vulnerable state of life, and they just come here for hope and healing.
I think we are already a bright spot in our community, so we're serving as a catalyst for people to get through their cancer journey by making meaningful connections.
You're giving back to our community, to your neighbors. That is just something that touches your heart every day. These people have given more to me than I've given to them.
Bright.
Safe haven.
Compassion.
Helpful.
Love.
Easy.
Understanding.
Kindness.
Hope.
Non-judgmental.
Healing.
We can all take this journey together.
And as they say, it takes a village. There has been the village. And it takes a neighborhood.
So that in a nutshell is what we are and what we're about. I hope that you got from that we are not a medical facility. We are non-clinical, so we focus on the social, emotional challenges that come along with cancer, as well as the financial. We believe that to get through some of the hardest things and the darkest days, you could do that in community. So we spend a lot of time working on the culture and the environment that we create in our building, making sure that it's convenient, welcoming, the opposite of what happens when you walk into a hospital or a clinic for treatment. We've been around since 1965, so about 60 years of this organization, and we decided we needed a new building. So one of the most exciting things we did recently was to build this new building on Mills Avenue. Anybody is welcome to come by. We actually even have our newest feature is an art gallery within there with uplifting art that speaks to people who are going through some difficult times. And that will rotate quarterly. We'll have local artists show their works there. But this is the building and some of the features that we were able to put into it because we didn't have the space in the old building. It was over 100 years old, and it was showing its age. So now we have a serenity garden. We have a room that's appropriate for children, not so much pediatric cancer patients, but children whose parents or loved one is going through a cancer journey. So they can come in and get play therapy from licensed therapists in our building. We do a lot with durable medical goods, and the space is just so much more purposeful now that we have double the square footage. Here's a picture of some of the rooms. We have a wig room available, or as we like to call it, a beauty salon. And the Serenity Garden has a beautiful fountain in the back. Can't see my own slides. And that's a picture of the ribbon cutting, and the children's room is below that. We successfully completed our capital campaign. Our organization runs on 100% private funding. We receive no public benefits. We have corporate partners, of course. I write a lot of grants, and we also have an event. Every other year is our big Hope Ball. Maybe some of you have been to that. So this coming April is our 2026 Hope Ball that raises enough revenue for us to use that operational funding for 2 years. A little more specifically about what we do. So people often don't feel like they have an appetite during cancer treatment, or people, especially with head, neck cancers, need to maintain weight. So we provide a lot of nutrition in the form of Boost and Ensure. That's a volunteer in the middle of the picture in the middle, helping people bring out supplies. We also have as I was mentioning before, durable medical goods, wheelchairs, walkers, bedside assists. So all that is at our building. This is the counseling side of our organization. We have 2 licensed counselors, and we have connection groups. We don't call them support groups. They're connection groups, and they're on a multitude of different. There's one for breast cancer. There's one for bereavement only. One for patients and caregivers together. So we those ebb and flow depending on what the needs of our clients are. And then we also make sure that we have, again, a lot of opportunities for community building. So we might have a harvest festival in the fall. We might have a day of beauty where we bring in beauticians and help women style their wigs. So anything that we can do that brings people together and helps them feel like they're not taking this journey alone. Another big part of what we do is the financial assistance. This is the only time we have eligibility requirements if you're receiving direct financial assistance from us, and some of the things that we can help people pay for, because cancer is very expensive even for people who are financially stable. So we pay for co-payments on prescription drugs. We've helped people with utility payments so their electricity is not shut off. We help with mileage to and from appointments. We can give fuel cards to people. Grocery cards have become a big thing lately. So helping them weather the financial stress that nobody should have to be dealing with when they're dealing with the stress of an illness like cancer. We also have, as I mentioned before, wigs that are all donated or we purchase them to supplement, and those are given out at no charge, no questions asked. And that top picture is ostomy supplies. People come in and can get free ostomy supplies from us. A little bit more about the community building. Some of the other things we do are in our new building that has a lot of space. In our Serenity Counseling Suites, we have we can open up, and it's a big space where we do mindfulness training, we do acupuncture, physical therapy, a lot of chair yoga happens, and also nutrition classes. In our kitchen, we host nutritionists who can come in and we'll purchase food share boxes from Mill Village, and then the nutritionist will teach the patient or the caregiver how what is in that box can be used to help with the symptoms of treatment or actually prevent cancer, the foods that are good for cancer prevention. Here's just an example of our program calendar at any day of the week. This can be found on our website, and we try and keep it, again, low maintenance where you don't have to register. You can just come in for most of the things we have there. So who are our clients? Well, everyone. And I want to mention also that caregivers are included in that. Sometimes caregivers are having a harder time than even the patients getting through this period. So anyone can find the kinds of services they need. As you can see here, the need is growing and will continue to grow with the population growing in the upstate. And we're well above the national average in terms of growth. And even though South Carolina is below in terms of incidence, the upstate is above. Don't know the reason behind that, but those were a little bit alarming statistics. So definitely not talking ourselves out of a job anytime soon. More and more people needing our services. We serve, and I should mention too, we serve about 1,000 patients per year. And we can do more. The need is there, and reported by our oncology partners, their mental health is a real need. As you can imagine, when you're given a cancer diagnosis, and we actually find clients come to us after their treatment is over at greater numbers than they do in the beginning of their treatment. And I think what happens is that you're in survival mode. You're going to get through your treatment, taking every bit of your energy to do so. And then when it's done, that's when you're processing what just happened to me. So that is when our counselors come into play in our connection groups. We just find that mental health needs are greatest after a cancer journey. During the cancer journey, you're also spending a lot of time just in appointments and specialists and things like that. The social determinants of health are the things, all the conditions that happen outside of a clinical setting and yet are so important for your outcome. So that is where we see ourselves in those two, the gold box and the green box. We believe that we're helping with economic stability, bridging the gap, making sure people can get to and from appointments and complete their treatment, and then also the social and community context. Some new things we have coming up on our radar is we just completed a strategic plan, the board did, and we are on the verge and fingers crossed on some grant funding that we hope to get to fund a community health worker. If you've ever helped an elderly person or somebody that has literacy issues, language challenges, things like that, our health system is extremely hard to navigate. I spend a lot of time on the phone with my mom and her MyChart. And we're going to have a community health worker that's going to help people with that. They're going to help get them connected to public benefits, enroll them in Medicaid and Medicare if they qualify for that. So someone sort of serving in a social worker capacity, but helping walk this person through all of the supports that are available, but they don't always have the ability to take advantage of those themselves. And then finally, just a word about other communities. I am one, or the Neighborhood Cancer Connection is one of 4 local cancer support organizations in the upstate, so independent ones. And that leaves some communities out. Pickens is one of them. We do help Pickens patients because we have some donors who restrict their donor dollars for Pickens. And so we're a lifeline for a lot of Pickens families that wouldn't otherwise have these resources. So we're looking at other upstate communities that are maybe rural, or it's harder for them to get here to Greenville. It's hard for some of northern Greenville County to travel to us to get supplies. So that's another thing on our radar, is potentially expanding our network to help more people. I wanted to leave time for questions, but do follow us on social media. We're active, and I'm happy to answer any questions you all might have. Yes. Hi. Good. Sure, yeah. Thank you for asking that. We have volunteers, we kind of put them in 2 or 3 different buckets, and we have the lifeblood volunteer is the one that can be there while we're open, 8 to 4:30 every day, and help us with, because we don't ask for appointments, we never know who's coming into our building, which can create a challenge. One day it can be just really overwhelmingly busy, and the other day it might be really quiet. But having volunteers serve in the office to help, a lot of times it's really people want to tell you their story. So volunteers who feel like doing that kind of hands-on direct service, we utilize them for that, as well as a lot of administrative tasks. And then we have ambassadors, which you now are all ambassadors. Congratulations. People who take our message out to the community, do community outreach, go to their churches, go to those civic organizations like Rotaries and tell our message for us. And then the third category would be an event-based volunteer. So we do every once in a while, either through, there's our ladies golf tournament, or, we're out in the community at an event, sometimes to raise funds, but sometimes just for awareness. And those are more the people who are able to work evenings and weekends, who can't come into the office because most people work during the day. So kind of 3 different categories. If anyone's interested in being more involved, on our website, there's a tab that says volunteer. You click that, and there's a super easy form you fill out that lets us know your hours and what you're looking for, and we'll get back to you. Thank you. Amy. Yes, it's April 24th. Hope to see you there. 2026, it'll be at the 405. Again, on our website, right at the top. You don't even have to search for it. There's a banner that says, click here to learn more about the Hope Ball. There's a sponsorship packet if anybody's interested in that, but we'd love to see you all at least as a guest at the Hope Ball. Yes. We have not received funds from United Way in, I want to say, 4 or 5 years. They determined we didn't fall under their criteria. So that happened a while ago, where we were no longer competitive for United Way funds. Yeah. Anyone else? Matt. To get services. Normal process is we'll hear from an oncologist, social worker, or nurse navigator that they've identified a patient. Most of them know about us. They at least have a vague sense of what we do. And if they feel like they have a patient that could benefit from the support we provide, they send a electronic form to us notifying us of that. We then do a welcome call within a week or 2, sometimes the same day, where we welcome to our community. We try and tell them we're not trying to sell them anything, if they even answer the phone. And then again, they're in the very beginning of a diagnosis, they're overwhelmed with their treatment plan. So sometimes we won't see them for 3 months, 6 months, but sometimes they'll come same day, like 20 minutes after we call them, and it just depends. Everybody has a very different approach to this disease. And so sometimes they'll come right away, but when they come, they get a welcome packet, which has a few comfort items in it and more information about us. We ask them what they're interested in, what are their major barriers, and what are they looking for in terms of support. Sometimes they go right to the wig room. Sometimes they say financially they are under a lot of strain. So we bring them into a private room, and we have a very quick screening tool, a couple of questions about their financial situation. And then we make sure that they get signed up on, we have a pharmacy program where with Prisma and St. Francis, they can charge their prescription medications that they cannot afford or aren't covered by insurance or their copayment. They'll just charge it directly to our account, and then we can take care of it from there. So again, our whole culture is to try and make things easy, not burdensome, not a lot of forms or red tape. Yeah. For a wig, durable medical equipment, or any of our workshops or support groups, they just come in or call us. Only if they're going to receive our supplies, our nutrition, the big ticket expense items, financial services, mileage reimbursement, things like that, then we do require a referral from their oncologist, just to make sure that they're actually in cancer treatment. Yeah. And then we do have a policy. We stick with people. And again, it's a case-by-case business, but we help them throughout their cancer journey. That might take, for some of them, it might take 3 months. For some, it might be a year or more. And then if they are receiving financial aid or the products I mentioned, then we stick with them for another 3 to 6 months follow-up. So they, once they're done with once they're in remission or they completed their treatment, they don't just get cut off immediately. We're still sticking with them for a few months after that. Seeing how resilient people are, how in the face of what they're going through, how strong people can be. What I kind of alluded to it before, patients themselves, it's interesting to watch that survival mechanism kick in and the differences of some people where they want to check off every single thing they can do. Other people, are just sort of in shock and they let their caregiver do a lot of the talking. But regardless of how they're handling it, seeing people's will to live and how resilient people can be. And for a lot of our clients, a cancer diagnosis is really not the hardest thing they're going through in their lives. And they're now in a position where even though, yes, they're probably feeling bad and they're having to do all these treatments, they suddenly have a community around them because of their cancer. And so I hear them, I wouldn't speak for them, but they say that it's actually been a blessing for them. It's helped them prioritize what's important in their lives. It's helped them realize that there are people who do care about them. Even if we're strangers, we care about them. So it's super rewarding. People do not leave our building in a bad mood. Let's put it that way, because everybody gets something from their visit to us. Yeah. Okay, 2 more. Yeah, in the video you saw Stephanie was one of our clients before, and we try not to have clients be volunteers at the same time they're going through treatment. It gets a little messy, but we love when they come back and volunteer with us. I would say 9 out of 10 volunteers who are our most loyal pool of volunteers are cancer survivors themselves. And I should also mention, to your question about volunteering, another great way to volunteer is we have a buddy program. For lack of a better word, we couldn't figure out what to call it. But if you are a survivor yourself or even a caregiver and want to be matched with one of our current clients who are going through a similar journey, that's a great way to help someone out. And what that means is phone calls, conversations, meeting for coffee. Yeah.
I noticed you get a lot of supplies. I know ostomy supplies. My mother was ostomy.
Yes. Yeah. Anything in a box. Yeah. Just come by our office during office hours. Anything that's unopened and, still sealed and all of that, we will make sure it gets back out. So we have people who bring back, we kind of recycle material, like wheelchairs come back to us all the time. Wigs, gently used wigs are great. We're always in need of those. Ostomy supplies, and also those boosts. Boost and Ensure are a big ticket item. And we're on a distribution network, but you all off the shelves of CVS and things like that, you can get the better flavors than we're able to. So bring them on by. We have churches and groups that do nutrition supply drives for us, which really helps us with our expenses. Thank you. Those were great questions. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, of course, I want to thank Roger for stepping in for me today. He even, that's okay. You can toot your own horn. He even put on a tie and jacket. Yeah, which I haven't seen him in since July 1st. So, yeah. There's an email up here. Oh, that's right. Okay. So I've been asked, well, a couple of things. Imagine this. I have 10 minutes. 10 minutes till 1. I can say a lot in 10 minutes. So I spent Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday at the holiday fair. And I cannot thank the people that put that together enough. They did a phenomenal job. Of course, we don't know how many millions of dollars that we raised yet. But I'm sure, but I would like to see, I saw a lot of faces there, that a lot of people that I know. So I'd like you to raise your hand if you volunteered anytime. Yep. Perfect. That was very nice. I do have to give a shout out to some people that really spent a lot of hours there. I noticed Jane is not here today. She's probably collapsed somewhere. the last time I saw her on Sunday, she just looked up. She said, "I have to go home. I just have to," and left. Christina spent hours and hours and hours there. I think Sylvia was very shortly right behind her the whole time. I don't know if Holly's here. Oh, okay. Holly, oh my gosh, she spent a lot of time. Brian was there a lot. Christine Thompson spent many, many hours there. Jeremy, well, and Jeremy's not here today either, but he had a business meeting or something. But Jeremy was there all day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, checking in the volunteers, putting them where they needed to be. I mean, there were some people that really just went way above and beyond. Beth Paget was there a lot. She's not here today either. Oh, she's up in Gaffney speaking to the Rotary group up there. So anyway, I want to thank all of y'all that were there. Tom was there quite a bit before and after. He said that he was too shy to be there during the event. I don't believe that, but but really, I thank you just from the bottom of my heart for even giving an hour, if that's what you had. But I just really have to shout out to the people that spent days and days there. So I have, along those lines, we did have a silent auction, and I actually won 4 things, I think. Yeah. Well, okay. This is a little funny story since I have time. I was bidding when the auction first opened. I was bidding on a trip to Banff. I have a hard time saying that word, and nobody was bidding. So I had my bid in there, and I kept checking it once in a while. And all of a sudden, Sunday morning, somebody was bidding on that trip. They were bidding against me. And I mentioned it to somebody, and they said, "Oh, I think Lucy Henry is bidding on that trip." So I texted Lucy and I said, "Lucy, are you bidding on that Banff trip?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, fine. I will let you have it." So maybe. And then her wife, Beth, turned around and won the raffle, which paid for the trip. Yeah. So anyway, I'll get there some other time, but I did win the Niagara Falls trip. Okay, so there were a few items at the silent auction that didn't go to anybody, and I'm going to read them off. And if anything strikes your fancy, contact Jenny. But I'm also going to have Jenny send out an email with this list, just in case for those people that aren't here, and if you don't quite catch it. So there was a drum, a hostess basket, an AI-powered booth. I'm not sure exactly what that is. 2 tickets to a ballet, headshots with Amy, and I've had Amy do my headshot, so you really should do that. SML Consulting, Leadership, and Phil Hyman Photography. So anyway, but I'm going to have Jenny send out that list, and if you're interested and would like to donate a decent amount, not $1, but a few dollars to that, you can take one of those prizes. Okay. Lisa, thank you so much for being here. As usual, as our gift for you speaking, we will donate a book to Alexander Elementary. I will have you sign it before you leave. I appreciate your talking about cancer. Cancer has touched my family quite a bit. My mother is a 2-time survivor. Cancer killed my father-in-law. I have many friends that have survived and some that have not. So I really appreciate the work you're doing there. And thank you for being here today. And please pay attention to upcoming dates. Upcoming dates. Where are we going to be next Tuesday? That will be the 3rd Tuesday of December. Where are we going to be? Here. We are going to be here. Do not forget that. Do not think that it's only the 2nd and 4th. This is the one time of year that we actually meet on the 3rd Tuesday of the month. So on the 16th, there will not be any speakers. We will just be listening to beautiful music and enjoying a great lunch and socializing. So I will see you back here. And I think that that is, yes. Yes. So I did not get to go, but who went to that concert? Yes, you may.
He's for, I think, an outstanding concert. This group has performed at Rotary events. Somehow know they got a little bit of Rotary. This I'm sorry, this is the United States. Like the about the United States was there and shows the link that this, I think, outstanding singing group had. But at the peak of the concert, they interrupted, I say stop, and gave a tribute to Rotary. And there were about 150 Rotarians and they're sitting together, they asked us all to stand, and then the leader of the group explained his connection with Rotary and named all kinds of grants that Rotary is doing worldwide. I don't think I've ever been in a public place where I've seen Rotary giving such a fine tribute. And so whoever got us those free tickets, we thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to put in the books.
Well, thank you, Jim. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, I was so sorry that I had a conflict that night. I really did want to go. So thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. So if you will all stand for the 5-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And will it be fun? Thank you.